Thank you, Taco Bell.
Yeah, can I get 4 spicy potato soft tacos, please?
No, sir, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Hope you have a great day. Appreciate it. What is up, everybody? So if you couldn't already tell from the Taco Bell, we are not currently in Mexico at the moment.
No, we're not in Mexico. We're in Atlanta, Georgia, and we're kind of staked out for just a little while, like the holidays, while we visit our family and we take care of some much needed stuff like our vehicles. On the agenda today, though, we really want to discuss, we actually crossed back into the United States via the land border, and so we wanted to go over all of that information with you in this video today, talking about where we crossed, the experience, how we did it, and how we got back here because we didn't have a vehicle after we made it into Texas.
Kind of an update video about what the channel is going to look like over the next few weeks and where we might head back to in Mexico. We got a few places we're looking at.
Yep.
So jumping back to crossing the land border, it's been kind of an adventure getting back to Atlanta this time around. This was actually our first time crossing by the land border since the pandemic started. I think the only other time we crossed
it was actually in 2018,
yeah.
So it's been quite a few years, but
that was Baja, California,
yep.
Tijuana. Now we normally would just fly back into the U.S. when we're visiting back. It's the easiest way, the fastest way, obviously.
Yeah, especially if you're like located anywhere down south or on the Yucatan Peninsula.
Yeah.
Definitely flying is the easiest option.
Basically, we ended up taking a Greyhound.
We used Greyhound because it was actually an easy way for us to book one ticket that took us to Laredo and then on to San Antonio, Texas.
So to prepare for crossing, we looked at a bunch of different ways to get over the border. We used a Facebook group. We've shouted it out before, but it really is extremely helpful. I'm not sure who runs it, but it is awesome. It's called On the Road in Mexico. That is pretty much the only way to get current, up-to-date information on border crossing and a lot of things Mexico. Because if you'll notice, like the government sites, the U.S. government sites pretty much just say that they're all unsafe across the board and keep it that way. So that's not really updated or helpful. And then you have articles that are outdated talking about the safest crossings. But for current information, like what are fellow travelers and fellow commuters in and out of the border using and doing right now, we normally just don't even ask anything. We just go search. Everyone's asked pretty much everything that we want to know. We spent all the time researching, but we ended up doing the opposite of what was recommended. So we ended up crossing at Nuevo Laredo in Tamaulipas. Tamaulipas, is that how you say it?
Yeah, I think
the state of Tamaulipas on the Texas border. Now that one's not highly recommended, and if you do cross in that area, people recommend usually going a little bit up north from Nuevo Laredo and going to the Columbia Bridge crossing. We actually did the Juarez-Lincoln Bridge right in Nuevo Laredo.
Yeah, people usually don't recommend the Nuevo Laredo route with Greyhound. That's just the way they took us, and it was the easiest way to do it because our Greyhound ticket was pretty affordable and it was fast as well. So we left kind of early in the morning and didn't have any problems at all.
Another thing a lot of people are recommending at the current time is to actually go up to Coahuila State and cross into Eagle Pass, Texas.
Yeah, and I think that's a perfect transition into exactly like how it went when we drove into U.S. Customs. There was a lot of cars going into the U.S. waiting in line to go through the toll booth style gates. When you book a bus or you're on a bus, they go through like a specific line. And so we basically passed almost all of that traffic waiting, and they pulled into a parking spot for us to all unload off the bus and go into the U.S. Customs building, and then that's where we the majority of the wait time was at.
Crossing it, I would say it took less than an hour.
Yeah,
total.
less or around an hour. Like the actually going through the customs where they ask you like what you did while you were in Mexico, like, oh, you're coming back to the U.S. It didn't take long at all. It was mostly just waiting.
But it was kind of depressing though, and I guess we're thinking about doing a reverse culture shock video, so I won't get into this too much. But it was kind of depressing when we got back into the U.S. We got back into Laredo, Texas. One of the first things we noticed was that the bus station was so chaotic. It was so unorganized compared to Mexico. The service was way worse.
Yeah, everything was just like, it was just kind of a shock.
And then we stepped outside, and that was when it got really
Yeah,
bad.
and there's like a park across from the bus station, and people were like yelling, screaming, cussing, and I'm like...
There was like people screaming and cussing at each other and then at everybody else. And I was like, yep, we're not in Mexico anymore.
Like, bienvenidos, Estados Unidos.
Yeah. But that was interesting.
All right, guys, we made it to Texas. We're in Laredo right now. and right behind us is an OXXO.
Yeah, we did not know that they're also in Texas, or at least in this part of Texas. And then another rude wake-up call. Well, not San Antonio, because San Antonio, when we got to San Antonio, that went amazing.
Our hotel was actually really nice.
Then we went to Austin, which was pretty terrible.
So after San Antonio, we decided to head up to Austin. Neither of us have ever been to Austin before, so I was really excited to see it because it gets talked up a lot and it's voted like one of the best cities to move to. So
yeah.
We were excited to experience it.
But also the bus trip in general was kind of a disaster, as it typically is in the U.S. with bus travel.
Yeah.
And then our hotel was horrible. It was like $80, and the bathtub didn't work. The Wi-Fi didn't work. And there was bullet holes in the glass, literal bullet holes in the glass of our hotel room for $80. That is where we decided to go back to Atlanta in a completely different, a non-conventional way. Like, we looked at flights, but we had a ton of bags, and they were really jacked up prices. And we looked at rental cars, again, with the jacked up prices, lack of availability. And if we're like, you know, if we're gonna be paying $80 for hotels like this.
Yeah, the hotel really sealed the deal.
Yeah.
So we were like, what are we gonna do to avoid wasting a ton of money on hotels like this?
Our solution was to go to Hertz and get a cargo van, which they would actually let us drop off in Atlanta. And it actually worked out really well because it was like $600 for the cargo van.
Yep.
And we wanted to, for the whole week. And we wanted about a week to be able to make some stops along the way and sleep in the back of the cargo van. And we're like, but $80 a night for these hotels, that's going to save us money either way.
Yeah, I mean, because like either every way we looked, we were looking at spending a ton of money. This was definitely the best way for us to go. We saw a ton of beautiful places, viewpoints.
It's not for everyone, obviously, because it's not that comfortable sleeping in the back of a cargo van. But we did get some, we went to Walmart, bought some camping mats and some sleeping bags.
Yeah, some sleeping bags and like a little USB fan because, of course, like it wasn't converted at all.
And if you are going to do that, we recommend staying at like different truck stops. Popular travel plaza and truck stop brands like Pilot, Flying J, I think even Loves, they all say on their website that you can actually spend the night there. There's like a designated area where RVs and vans can park overnight.
Next thing we're gonna do, we have a lot of US videos that we want to make. We're back in this area and we want to take advantage of it. And now we can talk about our options for coming back to Mexico. We've narrowed it down to a couple cities that we either want to split our time between or like stay in the majority of the time.
Yeah.
And the biggest one, literally, is Mexico City.
Yep, we were looking at spending 2 to 3 months in Mexico City. We've always wanted to live in a giant city, and we absolutely loved it when we visited it.
Yeah.
But we're not sure when we're going to do that, because we were looking at from like December to March, spending that time there. But we heard some people say that the smog is actually worse from like December to February. So if anyone has any insight on that, let us know. We might do the coast first and then come into Mexico.
Plus, it's nice to be on the coast or like near the water during the winter months.
Yeah. The other place we're looking at spending 2 to 3 months is around, maybe not in Puerto Vallarta, but around it. Puerto Vallarta, I don't know if I'm saying
like Puerto Vallarta.
Puerto Vallarta. We want to see that part of the West Coast. We still want to hit Baja again as well.
Yeah, we want to do Baja California, so that's also another option that we've been considering is Ensenada, but we don't know for sure yet. Let us know in the comments below if you have any recommendations or what you think about those locations.
And we're always, of course, considering Merida.
Yeah.
We're always thinking about going back to Merida.
Yeah, we always think, like, definitely, should we just go back to Merida?
We love that area, so it's like, that's always in the cards as well.
Oh, and we want to throw in really quick that we know our posting has been not so consistent lately. Actually, the opposite of that. We've had a lot of speed bumps in the way, but one of the biggest and most stressful ones was that our hard drive was giving out on us. When we got back to Atlanta, we took it to a recovery shop that we knew could pull that footage out of it.
We were able to save most of the hard drive, which has really been amazing. That's priceless, because we thought we were going to lose all that footage.
Yeah.
It's something that we kept saying, oh, we're going to back it up, we're going to back it up. But electronics in Mexico are more expensive. That includes hard drives. And it's just something we kept putting off. So we did lose a lot of stuff in Chiapas and Oaxaca, that some of that stuff that we had planned on making a video about a while ago that we're still going to be putting out because we just now got some of that footage back. We're
going to be coming out with a lot more United States videos while we're here, and then of course when we get back to Mexico, we look so forward to new videos there and kind of giving you our experience on how we got there.
So I know that we didn't have a crazy ton of information about our border crossing because it really did go smoothly in Nuevo Laredo. So for those of you that are planning to cross, and that might be why some of you clicked on this video, you're probably anxious about those plans and getting ready to cross. I was too. I cannot stress enough, just hit up those Facebook groups. That's been the best resource. If you're not crossing for a while and want more information, make sure to subscribe, because we do have that information coming.
Absolutely. And in the description of this video, we're going to drop a couple helpful links that will be of benefit to you if you're going to be crossing the border via land anytime soon, or you're planning a trip to. But other than that, I think that's all we have for today. Thank you so much for watching, and hasta luego.
Hasta luego, amigos. See you soon.